It is important to remember, though, that while the Department of Justice can save lives, it can also ruin lives. I will always keep this fact in mind, and politics should never play a role in the Department of Justice. But recently, in too many circumstances, it has. Thank you all for welcoming me here today. This nomination is my American dream. I am humbled by President Trump's trust in me to execute the duties of the Deputy Attorney General in our nation's top law enforcement office. I have worked and will continue to work every single day to maintain the trust of those I represent. As a prosecutor, I upheld the trust of the citizens of the United States. In private practice, I earned the trust of my clients, and if I'm lucky enough to be confirmed, I will work every day to earn, protect, and honor the trust of our shared constituency, the American people. The United States Department of Justice must protect this nation. It must protect its people. It must keep our communities safe and secure. We must secure our borders, and it must protect all of our rights and freedoms. I would, Senator Chairman Grassley, like to introduce some folks that are here with me today. I'm joined by my wife, Christine, my daughter, Sydney, my granddaughter, Blaine, my son, Justin, and his girlfriend, Alexis, my parents, Pam and Richard. I should say that the second Ironman that I completed, my father did it with me at the age of 71 years old. My mother-in-law, Regina, and I have many friends and family with me as well. And I really thank all of them for coming here today and for their support, not only today, but over the past several years. I also know that my older sister, Lori, and my father-in-law, Tom, are watching out for me from above, and I'm sure they have big smiles on their faces today. It's been mentioned a couple times, but I do want to recognize the two judges that I was lucky enough to clerk for after graduating from law school, Judge Denny Chin and Judge Joseph F. Bianco. They're both now on the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. They're both very close friends of mine, and I thank them for their mentorship and for teaching me the foundational principles of how to be a good lawyer and person. I am definitely not a Washington insider. My limited experience in this town is from when I attended American University, waited tables, and worked as an intern at the Department of Justice, and then later as a paralegal in the criminal division. This was back in the late 90s. Soon after that, as it's been mentioned a few times already, I moved to New York with my wife and my two small children to attend law school at night while supporting them. I worked during the day as a paralegal at the Southern District of New York, and I remember the first time I saw a federal prosecutor give an opening statement back in May of 1999. I knew I wanted to be an assistant United States attorney. And to make that dream a reality, I had to, of course, work very hard and give it everything I had. I was a young father. I had two babies at home. I was reading law school textbooks on the train during my 3-hour commute every day. And I know this isn't the typical path to becoming an SDNY AUSA, but that's the beauty of that office and this country. With hard work and focus, anybody from any background has the opportunity to succeed. During my time as an AUSA in the Southern District, I prosecuted all types of federal crime, but my primary focus was prosecuting violent gang members. This work gave me unique insight into the scourge of violent crime and violent gangs. They obliterate neighborhoods, they instill fear in entire communities, and they destroy lives. This is especially true of transnational gangs that have exploited open border policies to expand their dangerous, murderous operations in communities all across this country. These criminals operate with impunity to traffic women and children, kill innocent bystanders, flood our streets with illicit, deadly drugs, and erode the fabric of law and order. President Trump has repeatedly pledged to crush these gangs, and we will. Indeed, I have watched with optimism and approval how the Department of Justice has shifted its priorities to focus on violence, transnational gangs, drugs that are fueling an epidemic of overdoses, and the open borders that allow criminals to infiltrate our country. If confirmed, I intend to continue the mission that was started on January 20th with a clear goal. Gangs, terrorists, and those who aid and harbor them will be found and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. It is important to remember, though, that while the Department of Justice can save lives, it can also ruin lives. I will always keep this fact in mind, and politics should never play a role in the Department of Justice. But recently, in too many circumstances, it has. Prosecutors in this country have predicated entire campaigns on targeting rivals. We saw cases like the one brought in Manhattan against Paul Manafort in 2019, a blatantly illegal indictment filed by an elected local prosecutor, which was thankfully swiftly thrown out. And then more recently, I have stood next to and defended President Trump as partisan prosecutors and politicians abused our legal system in completely unprecedented ways to fulfill a political agenda, which was prosecuting and attacking President Trump. But my faith in this country returned in full force on November 5th, when the American people rejected this gross abuse of our justice system. Partisan lawfare in our justice system wastes taxpayer money, makes communities less safe, and ruins lives. This should never happen in America. America deserves better, and it will stop now. We will work to restore the American people's faith in our justice system, focusing the Department of Justice on the criminals who undermine our safety and destroy our lives, on protecting citizens' rights, and on ensuring that our government can do the job that the voters chose for it to do, rather than on scoring political points or pursuing political enemies, will allow the Justice Department lawyers and our law enforcement partners to go back to simply doing the right thing. The Justice Department includes some of the very best of the very best. People who wake up every day with the singular goal of keeping our streets and borders safe and protecting our liberties. I'm excited for the opportunity to lead them along with Attorney General Bondi. I love this country deeply, and I love the Department of Justice. Thank you for the opportunity to be considered today for the position of Deputy Attorney General, and I look forward to your questions.